Call it whatever you want, but players know a second division when they see one. Rory McIlroy has openly challenged the sales pitch behind Brian Rolapp's radical PGA Tour rebuild. Starting in 2028, golf's biggest names could play in the Championship Series, while other professionals battle through the Challenger Series for promotion. Rolapp compares it with English football. Rory's response basically asks whether golf really needed relegation drama served with corporate garnish. Whose side are you taking here? The executive promising progress or the champion warning that the new tier could downgrade careers overnight? Picture being ranked just outside the protected group. One bad stretch, one injury, or one cold putter could send your schedule, prize money, sponsor value, and caddies' income tumbling together. That is not merely a format change. It affects real livelihoods. Hit subscribe now because Rory has opened the door and the rest of the locker room may be ready to charge through it. The fight did not begin with a secret memo or some leaked locker room meeting. It began when McIlroy was asked about the proposed two-track system before the U.S. Open. Rory did what Rory often does. He skipped the polite corporate dance, looked directly at the issue, and called the second track a glorified Korn Ferry event. Rolapp's plan was still taking shape at that point, yet Rory had already exposed its biggest image problem. The PGA Tour could call the lower level a Challenger Series. Executives could place a shiny logo on it, write an inspiring slogan, and release a video filled with slow-motion fist pumps. None of that would answer the obvious question. If the leading players are competing somewhere else for 5 times the prize money, what does that make the other tournament? Rolapp strongly rejected Rory's label. He argued that Challenger Series events would still feature recognizable PGA Tour venues, strong fields, and purses starting at $4 million. Those tournaments would involve players from the same broad membership group fans already watch today. From his perspective, that is very different from the Korn Ferry Tour, which remains the main developmental circuit below the PGA Tour. A $4 million purse is serious money. Nobody should pretend the winner will receive a supermarket coupon and a free bucket of range balls. However, the Championship Series is expected to offer minimum purses of $20 million. That gap is not a small crack. It is a canyon wearing golf shoes. Here is where the argument becomes much bigger than one sarcastic Rory McIlroy comment. Regular Championship Series tournaments are planned to have average fields of around 120 players. Every stroke play event will include a 36-hole cut. That detail matters because the PGA Tour has taken heavy criticism for small, no-cut signature events that appeared to protect famous players from consequences. Under the new plan, even a star can play badly on Thursday and Friday, miss the cut, and go home. Golf fans generally understand that language. Play well or leave. No complicated PowerPoint presentation is required. It will stage at least 20 tournaments with fields of 144 players and minimum purses of $4 million. Most of those events will run during the same weeks as Championship Series tournaments. Approximately 7 may receive standalone dates when the elite circuit is not playing. That means fans will repeatedly face a direct choice. Do they watch the best-known names compete for $20 million? Or do they watch the lower-ranked group fight for $4 million somewhere else? Golf already struggles to hold casual viewers outside the major championships. Asking the Challenger Series to compete against the Championship Series is like opening a small burger stand inside a steakhouse and acting shocked when everybody looks toward the expensive table. Imagine a respected PGA Tour tournament being placed on the Challenger schedule. Its course does not suddenly become worse. Volunteers do not stop caring. Local fans do not forget its history. Yet the leading players may be competing across the country that same week for a purse 5 times larger. Rory specifically raised concerns about historic stops such as the Canadian Open. That event has roots stretching back more than a century. It should not need a corporate rescue mission simply to avoid being treated like background noise on the new calendar. On one hand, Rolapp wants a cleaner product. Fans would know when the stars are playing, fields would be larger than the recent signature event model, and every tournament would have a cut. Promotion and relegation would create consequences across an entire season. Think about a player ranked 95th after a difficult year. Maybe he suffered a wrist injury in April. Perhaps his putting disappeared during the summer. Golf can turn cruel without warning. A player can strike the ball beautifully, miss 4 cuts by a single shot, and tumble down the standings while everyone online calls him washed. Under the proposed structure, at least 90 Championship Series players are expected to retain their positions. A minimum of 20 players would move up from the Challenger Series. Additional places and exemptions will shape the final field, although several eligibility details still require clarification. Relegation could mean smaller purses, less television exposure, weaker sponsorship opportunities, and fewer appearances alongside the stars. His caddy feels that damage too. So does his coach, trainer, manager, and family. Hit the like button if you believe one poor season should not erase years of work without a fair path back. Multiple Challenger Series victories could also deliver immediate promotion. At least 20 players will earn movement into the Championship Series through season-long performance, while a last-chance competition is expected to offer another route upward. Picture a veteran entering the final Challenger event while sitting 21st in the standings. One position separates him from a $20 million schedule. His caddy knows it. His family knows it. The player standing over a 6-foot putt certainly knows it. Rolapp is betting that fans will care about both ends of the ladder. They will watch the stars fight for trophies at the top while following hungry players chasing promotion below. His comparison with English football is built around that emotional movement. Clubs rise, clubs fall, and supporters remain invested because status is never completely safe. A football club represents a city, carries generations of support, and plays every season with a stable identity. Individual golfers do not have that same built-in fan base. When a player ranked 138th drops into the Challenger Series, millions of loyal supporters will not automatically follow him there every weekend. Where does the Korn Ferry Tour fit once the Challenger Series becomes the main pathway into the Championship Series? How many cards will remain available through Q School? Will winning a regular PGA Tour event before 2028 provide protection afterward? What happens to medical extensions? How will DP World Tour players gain access? Now comes the twist that prevents this story from being a simple Rory versus Rolapp shouting match. After the official structure was announced, McIlroy described it as a positive step for professional golf. He supported the effort to strengthen meritocracy, improve the product for fans, and create a more unified direction. His initial criticism targeted the danger of devaluing lower-tier events. His later support addressed the full framework, including larger fields, cuts, promotion, relegation, and stronger competition. Both views can exist together. A person may support renovation while still asking why the builder has placed the bathroom in the kitchen. That nuance matters because the title of this conflict cannot become more important than the truth. Rory openly challenged the sales pitch surrounding Track 2. He did not announce a formal union, lead players out of a meeting, or declare war on Rolapp. What we are seeing is the potential foundation for resistance if the final details leave too many members feeling abandoned. Rory's words gave those concerns a public voice. Once a superstar says the quiet part aloud, lower-ranked players gain permission to ask tougher questions. Scottie Scheffler has taken a more positive view. He believes the new structure can improve competition, place leading players together more often, and create a product that is easier for fans to understand. Larger championship fields and proper cuts also address concerns he and others have raised about the current model. Tiger Woods has also backed the overhaul through his role in the Future Competition Committee. His message focuses on building a PGA Tour capable of lasting for future generations. When Tiger places his name behind a structural change, the tour gains enormous credibility. The PGA Tour now has to prove that Challenger does not mean disposable. 7 standalone weeks could help. During those dates, Challenger players would receive the main television window and a chance to tell their stories without competing against a championship event. Traditional courses could retain relevance, while promotion races might develop genuine identities. Broadcast quality must remain strong. Prize money needs long-term support. Promotion rules must be simple enough for viewers to understand. Relegated players require a realistic opportunity to return, not a decorative staircase with several missing steps. Most importantly, the tour must avoid treating the Challenger Series as punishment. It should feel like a fierce competition with valuable trophies, not a storage room for golfers who failed to qualify for the executive lounge. Language will play a role. Rolapp clearly dislikes the Korn Ferry comparison because it weakens the image he is trying to build. Yet branding cannot defeat what viewers see with their own eyes. If championship events receive the stars, massive purses, prime courses, and non-stop promotion while Challenger tournaments receive leftovers, Rory's description will stick. Subscribe if you want every update, because the most explosive decisions have not been finalized yet. Eligibility could become the true battleground. Suppose the tour protects too many established names through exemptions. Promotion would appear restricted. Alternatively, imagine harsh relegation rules removing recognizable players after one injury-hit season. Fans could lose favorites before understanding what happened. Medical protection also requires care. Injuries are part of sport, but they should not automatically push a player into a lower commercial category. Tournament winners need clarity about how long their exemptions remain valid. College stars and Korn Ferry graduates must know whether their pathway leads directly to the championship series or stops first at challenger level. For decades, Monday qualifiers have represented golf's wild backdoor. A player pays an entry fee, survives a brutal one-day shootout, earns a place in the field, and occasionally changes his life. Championship Series events will not use traditional alternate lists or sponsor exemptions, and access is meant to depend on the defined qualification system. Unknown players appearing from nowhere and challenging famous champions remind us that golf is not supposed to operate like a private club. Rolapp's model must preserve enough open pathways to keep that dream alive. That irony is impossible to ignore. The PGA Tour spent years defending open competition, weekly cuts, and the right to earn opportunity. Now it is creating a premium series designed to place the best-known players together more often for enormous purses. There are meaningful differences from LIV. Championship events will use 72 holes, contain cuts, and connect to a promotion and relegation system. Even so, fans will notice any hint of contradiction. His criticism also carries extra weight because he defended the PGA Tour fiercely during golf's civil war. He attended meetings, answered uncomfortable questions, and became an unofficial spokesman while other stars remained quiet. Later, McIlroy stepped away from that political role after admitting the fight had consumed too much energy. At the same time, Rory is wealthy, globally famous, and protected by extraordinary performance. He can reduce his schedule and choose premium events. Challenger-level players cannot enjoy that freedom. Therefore, the strongest argument against the overhaul may eventually come from golfers whose names casual viewers barely recognize. Those voices have the most at stake, but they also possess the least media power. That is why Rory's bluntness matters. He can force cameras to look toward a problem before it reaches players without his platform. Rolapp now faces a difficult test of leadership. He arrived from the NFL world with experience packaging major sporting events for television. His mission is to make the PGA Tour simpler, stronger, and more entertaining after years of conflict and confusion. Fans have asked for top players to compete against one another more often. Sponsors want reliable star fields. Broadcasters need clear storylines. Players want financial stability. Historic tournaments want protection. Emerging golfers demand access. The executive solution is separation. Put the established competition in one series and create a visible promotion race in another. That offers clear weekly stakes. Championship sounds important. Challenger sounds like someone waiting for permission to become important. Once those labels affect purses and television windows, players will know exactly where they stand. In my view, Rolapp's overhaul contains several excellent ideas. Bringing back cuts across elite events is overdue. Increasing field sizes strengthens credibility. Removing sponsor exemptions from premium tournaments protects competitive access. Promotion and relegation can create drama throughout the standings, while match play in the postseason may finally give the Tour Championship a personality beyond calculators and confusing starting scores. $4 million purses sound impressive until they sit beside $20 million events every week. Historic tournaments should not lose their place because the Tour wants a cleaner television package. Players outside the top group deserve a path that is open, understandable, and powerful enough to restore a career quickly. Rory's glorified Korn Ferry line was harsh. It was also useful. The comment forced Rolapp to explain why challenger events would matter. That pressure should continue until every major eligibility question receives a clear answer. If the final structure protects stars while squeezing everybody else, frustration will spread. Veterans will speak. Tournament directors will complain. Sponsors may reconsider their support. Fans in traditional markets could resent seeing beloved events moved away from the elite schedule. Conversely, if promotion feels real, challenger broadcasts receive proper attention, and historic stops retain value, Rolapp may deliver the strongest competitive system the PGA Tour has built in decades. Whatever happens next, players will judge the plan by opportunity, fans will judge it by drama, and history will judge whether golf remained open. Rory opened the argument, but he does not own its final answer. That belongs to the players fighting near the line, the tournaments facing uncertain status, and the fans deciding whether two parallel series provide twice the drama or half the meaning. Now, drop your verdict in the comments. Is Rory McIlroy right to challenge Brian Rolapp's two-tier vision, or does the PGA Tour need this radical overhaul to survive? Hit like if you want open competition protected, subscribe for every breaking update, and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next twist. The 2028 structure promises promotion, relegation, richer events, and stronger fields. Yet one question remains. Will it save the soul of the PGA Tour, or split that soul into two very unequal pieces?